Welcome to Real Talk here at Lone Star National Bank. I'm Julian Alvarez, your host, and today I'm being joined by Carlos Olario, and who handles our wealth management. Carlos, welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much, Julian, for having me. I'm very excited to be here today.
So, what I wanted to share with everyone, you've been working with us for some time. I'm not going to say a long time, but for some time. Do you want to share with us your new title and your new role here at Lone Star National Bank?
Of course, yeah, I'm very excited. So I'm now the Director of Wealth Management and Trust. So I've been with the company over 3 years now. Really, I've been doing this type of work my whole adult life. So I'm very excited now to be leading a great team within a great company and really doing amazing things for clients constantly. So I'm very excited to kind of lead that path forward there and really be a great addition to an already deep bank that we have here at Lone Star National Bank.
So you mentioned you've been doing this for some time, but you recently did a presentation for our advisory board last week, and I learned something about you that I didn't know, that you've been doing this kind of work since you were 16 years old.
That's right.
You want to share that?
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's something that I started young. When I was young, during a summer break, I was able to read a great book that was fascinating to me about stock investing, and that really took me down the gamut of understanding how someone can invest their monies, grow their monies. And really from 16, I've started to invest in my own portfolio, and I haven't stopped since. And I'm hopefully now helping clients continuing that journey of investing, being good, sound stewards of their capital, and then being there for them for all these different life events that we know investing helps achieve and really accomplish goals for them.
I love when you use the word clients. Lots of times people say, well, they're customers or people have come by. Share with me why you use that word. I mean, what's the meaning behind the term clients rather than use the word customer?
That's great. Yeah, that's something I really focus on there because a client to me is much more than just a simple customer. They're really a relationship, and really from day one when I have a client in front of me, it's me understanding them, understanding their unique situation, their family, their relationship to me is much more than just a simple transaction or simple one of many. It's really something that's very personal to me. That's the way I train my staff to be, and that's the way I think everybody who's a money manager should be, because we're dealing with something very important, something very personal, something that's really going to matter in their life later on and matter in their families' lives. So for me, a client is really what I'm trying to ultimately always capture, and whether they're new clients, prospective clients,
Yes.
or long-time clients, they're all just as important, and I want to make sure that they're taken care of. So for me, that's why I use that constantly.
Well, lots of times, especially people my age, start thinking that it's a good time for us to start looking at wealth folks like advisors like you when we get to a certain age. But I think it's important for folks that are just finishing college, right, graduating, going into a new line of business. I mean, like maybe a new endeavor, right? I mean, do you recommend that people like you, wealth advisors, start meeting with folks, clients earlier on?
Yeah, definitely. I think when it comes to planning, wealth planning in particular, there's never a start date or an end date. It's a constant necessity nowadays because there's so much that happens in any given week, month, year. There's life events, there's changes in job and career in businesses. So for us, the earlier you start to understand, empower yourself with education, the earlier you bring over a trusted advisor such as ourselves to help manage what it is you're trying to accomplish, the better you're going to be. And that's something that we see in the industry constantly, that the earlier clients start to have that good, sound money management, the easier it's going to be for them to reach their goals, and ultimately the more successful they're going to be, and the more empowering they're going to have their work, their family dynamics, a more successful, happy, fruitful life. Why? Because now they're able to focus on the things that really matter most. Because now some of these other things are being taken care of by somebody who knows what they're going to do, who knows how to approach the situation, knows how to guide them, and I think that's very impactful.
So one of the things I do appreciate, not only your professionalism, Carlos, and the line of work that you do, but there's a lot of training involved. It's not like you just go ahead and open an account and you tell them, hey, you put your money here in this stock. I mean, you really follow, and you've gone through some extensive training to be where you're at today. Am I correct?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and a lot of it is formalized training that we need to have in the industry. and some of it's really on the job, looking at unique situations, putting together solutions that are made for certain circumstances, and then going through life as usual. You learn and you learn. And I think if you have an open mind to learning, educating yourself, that's a necessity in this industry because things always constantly change. In banking, that is something that happens. In business, of course, we know that occurs constantly. And in my field of wealth management, we have to be at the cusp to be able to really provide the best for the clients there. So my education never stops. Constantly learning more, whether it's about a solution, a strategy, or law change, that a tax law change, or that may occur, that may impact my clients. I want to be able to bring in experts, of course, that are experts in their fields, such as CPAs and attorneys. But I also want to be able to understand how these things are coming together. So though I may not be able to give them that direct advice, I understand how it may affect them.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, the clients that you have. So you talked about the younger clients. You've talked about those that are a little bit more settled, right? So tell us a little bit about some of the clients that you work with. I mean, you have obviously some that are in the healthcare industry. Then you have others that might be retiring as educators from TRS or ERS. Tell us a little bit about those kind of clients.
Yeah, so we really have a gamut of different types of clientele that we take care of. Small business owners are a big piece of it there, physicians, professionals, attorneys as well. And then you have your hardworking, whether it's teachers, civil workers, right, that have worked many, many years in certain specific job fields. So we really have experience managing almost any type of client. And every client is going to be unique. And that's where we come from a very open mind, open ears, understanding them, their situation, where they came from, what they're trying to accomplish, whether they're still working, whether they stopped working, and they're trying to really understand how retirement is going to look for them. It's important for us to have these conversations because every time we have one of these, and we have these constantly with clients, quarterly, we try to meet with them, things happen in their lives that sometimes is important for us to know. Why? Because then we can tailor things to what they're ultimately either one telling us, what they're trying to accomplish, or ways that we see potential in easing that transition. Because there's a lot of uncertainty at times when people are going into something new, and each of these professions, right, has their own uniqueness. Either they work long hours, they don't have the time, or they've invested so much into their companies where everything else has been a secondary issue, or whether they've committed to a governmental agency their whole life and they've really known nothing else other than that specific skill set. So these are all things that to us are very, very important for us to understand, and then kind of work around how we can best sort out some of the important things that they're trying to accomplish there.
Let me ask you this, Carlos, and maybe for some of our viewers, do you have to have a lot of money to work with a person like you? Like, do you have to be a millionaire to start an account with you, or to start, some type of advisement type of counseling?
No, not necessarily, really. We help a certain type of clientele, but within the bank, we have solutions for any client across the board, whether it's somebody's fresh out of college or in college that's needing advice and guidance on how to protect themselves in the future, how to grow their monies, how to start saving. We have bankers, financial advisors, and wealth advisors that are here to run, parallel to almost all their goals, right? And really the only thing keeping them from starting a relationship is just not asking the questions, or us not identifying their need there. And that's where we want clients to really reach out to us, be advocates for themselves, and really ask us that, this is coming up. I have a question, I have a concern. That's what we're here for. So we really have solutions for any client. It's really just understanding what they're trying to accomplish there.
Is it unique for a bank, a community bank, to have a department like wealth management under its umbrella as a partner? Is that unique, or are more banks doing that?
It is unique now. I think it is something that's gaining more and more popularity because people are seeing, banks are seeing the potential and the need to give this type of advice that people are going to be looking for at some point in their life. It is pretty unique the way that we have situated our full suite of services, where from banking to lending to insurance to investing to wealth, we really have a place almost for any client to one, understand what they're needing, get good guidance, and really cover themselves fully when it comes to financial security. So I think in the industry, more and more banks are starting to see that this is something that clients truly truly need, and they're starting to then understand that and starting to come through that channel and either have some kind of third party arrangement with somebody or do it in house. We do it in house, which what makes it even more impactful because we understand the client, understand the community. We can bring it all together for them and really help accomplish everything they're ultimately trying to, and that's really the end of it there.
So I know you're located on Nolana, our corporate building, right? And so if someone that's listening, if one of our viewers is listening right now and then saying, I'd like to meet with someone like him, like Carlos or someone from your team, where can they go? I mean, do they have access to meeting members of your team, maybe in Cameron County, on the island, in Roma? I mean, how accessible are you?
That's a great question. So really, we are here to service any client here in the Valley or San Antonio. Really, you can come into any branch and really ask to speak to an advisor. Usually, we'll have representation fairly closely over the phone, via Zoom, in person. We're based out of the corporate headquarters here off of Nolana and McCall, but ultimately, we will visit a client where they need to be visited, whether it's at their place of business, at a local branch that's close by, via telephone conversation, via Zoom communication. Really, we're here to help. We understand that clients sometimes have not an easy path to get to where we are, so we're going to make that extra effort to really go out to them, reach them where they whether they're working, whether it's more comfortable for them, and we really have access to the Valley and San Antonio. So really, no reason why we can't be in front of a client fairly quickly.
Yeah, Carlos, I've been fortunate enough to join you in some of your meetings. And I mean, I've been blown away by your presentation, you and your staff. And so I guess what I'd like for the viewers to understand too is like your job doesn't stop at, you're not an 8 to 5, what they say, you banker hours, right? I've seen you work as in the evening, some of the doctors that we visited. And then I've seen you work, on the weekends. I mean, we talk about this all the time. So, I mean, that's just that perception, right? That's certainly not true.
That's right. We are going to be at the disposal of the client. Ultimately, we understand that clients have busy lives, busy careers, and sometimes they simply cannot meet us in those normal, as you say, banking hours.
Yeah.
So we're really going to be at their disposal, whether it's early morning, afternoon, evening, for dinner, for a bite to eat, for conversation. And we're really open to the weekends as well, whether it's Saturdays or Sundays. So there's been circumstances where there is no other option other than meeting at the family home, the family together with a client that really wants the family to be involved in these matters. And I've gone out to their home, their residence on a weekend, and really we've had a meal together, discuss the important aspects of what they're trying to accomplish, and then start the relationship from there. So it is something that we can definitely do.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're probably being overwhelmed by calls right now because, the federal government's talking about tariffs, and then everybody's talking about saving money. Some people are even saying, let's pull our money out, right? So there's just so many things going on. We at Lone Star National Bank are doing very well. And so my question to you is, Carlos, I mean, what are people saying right now? Are they a little concerned about investing, or are you seeing an increase of people investing as a result of what's happening right now?
That's a great question. We're seeing a little bit of both. We're seeing some clients that really are uncertain about their future because they don't know how far their money is going to take them with either higher tariffs that may lead to higher inflation, an economic downturn that may affect the growth of the economy and their ability to be able to continue to be successful in their fields of work. And then we have other investors that have been great savers and are really looking at this as a great opportunity. We know that the American economy is one that's built on resiliency, that's built on growth and sound fundamentals. So we know that there are going to be times like this. We know that the economy has a tendency of working through it. It's usually a short-term bit of pain, but ultimately long-term, it's a great place to be, which is investing in the American consumer, into the American economy, into the American work ethic, right? Where, America's built on very sound fundamentals of what makes society great, right? And these are all good things that we want to be invested in. And ultimately, over time, even though short-term there may be volatility, over time, it's a great place to be. And that's what I am telling clients, whether they are a little uncertain or whether they're new and they're wanting to take advantage of opportunities. There are reasons why you invest, and it's really just understanding those reasons, having a plan, working it together so that we can ultimately help them accomplish what it is that ultimately they're trying to do there.
Yes. Carlos, and you've been around many of the meetings that we've had, whether they're morning meetings, whether they're marketing meetings or QSQS. We pride ourselves on customer service. I mean, tell me a little bit about now that you have this leadership role within the department. You know, the gentleman that was there before you, I mean, Brett Woods he did a great job, you know, and he was really good about customer service. And then, you know, obviously he was following the game plan, but now we're going to elevate it to the next level with you there. I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about you, Carlos, and people are excited that you're in that position. Tell me what you're going to do to improve, or what can we incorporate, or what kind of new clients see about what we're doing or what we're doing different?
Yeah, so for me, servicing the client is the utmost importance. It's dealing with clients, their important assets, their family dynamics. These are all things that, in my mind, we have to be the very top of our game and good stewards of that. So for me, my staff knows that we take care of our client very well constantly. We're getting better, we're being more efficient, we're being quicker, we're understanding their uniqueness, customizing always. That's part of what we do. We customize a strategy to them and their unique needs, and they have to know that they're going to get the best quality service possible. One, because I have a staff that understands the importance of it. Two, they have a leader that now has done it many years and understands what clients really ultimately are looking for and wanting to accomplish. And three, we have really the technology that allows us to do this very effectively, efficiently there. And whether it's somebody that likes to use technology or not, it helps us be efficient, effective, keep track of all their needs, and help bring it all together in a very digestible manner. And for me, that's the kind of service that we want. We have good strategies that are helping their money work the way that they want to. We're having open discussions. We're showing them what exactly is happening with their money, with their goals. And we're able to really bring it all together there. And ultimately, that's what clients really, truly want. They want somebody here local that's allowing them to get all these things at a very local level, at a very customizable level, and really with peace of mind that they know that the bank, which is such a great part of the community, is helping them succeed as well. And for us, that's ultimately even more important, that we are out there as Lone Star National Bank, and we want to make sure that we're doing our part to make sure to continue that path of service and good stewardship.
You know, well stated. You know, what I love about what you said, Carlos, was staying local. I mean, that's important, right? So we know that folks have the ability and, you know, to invest their money with a company that's maybe not even based out of Texas, you know, and that's why I'm so grateful that one of the things, or one of the charges that you've given your team, or some of the conversations that you've had with folks, is that we should stay local. I mean, I'm here, you can get a hold of me. I mean, again, the clients that I have referred to you, I mean, my God, they've been nothing but complimentary on, you know, how you've treated them, going to lunch or telling them how they're doing, and here's another possible investment. So I appreciate that. And I know that it's tough. And you mentioned earlier that you keep up with what's happening with the economy and what's going on here in the United States. I think that's important for our folks to know, that it's not just I get to see them one time, you open an account, and we'll see you in 6 years. I mean, you constantly are visiting with these people.
Yeah, that's part of our mandate. We're meeting them when and if they want us to meet, and we're constantly communicating with them what's happening. And whether it's just simply checking in, making sure that they are okay, that their family's okay, that there's a certain life event that maybe we're tracking to make sure to either congratulate them or let them know that it's on the horizon. Whether it's telling them, you know what, this happened in the market, or this is happening in the economy, want you to know that your plan is still in place, that's still going to be working well. So quarterly is a minimum, but for a lot of clients, I'm reaching out monthly, biweekly, and much more frequently than that. Why? Because I want them to make sure that I'm here, and my staff similarly knows that this level of service is the kind that should be expected of a true wealth advisor, right? Because it's not 9 to 5, it's not 7 days a week, it's really 24/7, 365. It's really being there to answer the questions, the hard questions in the difficult times. That's when really we're really doing what we're supposed to. Aside from the managing of the money aspect, we're really there to help give them that peace of mind ultimately.
Good, Carlos. So, I mean, you know, you've pretty much answered, you know, all the questions that maybe one or many of the viewers would probably have. You know, why should I invest? Is the economy strong? Who do I go talk to? Do you have representatives available outside of the corporate building? I mean, those are really good bullet points for our audience to know. But is there anything else that you share with folks, maybe as an introduction when you visit with somebody? Is there anything that you say to them that you know that elevator spill is, what can you share with our audience that you share with the folks when you're out there?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, one of the questions we get a lot is, what is wealth management? What is a wealth advisor? And for many, what I try to explain to them is that as a wealth advisor, we help the client and their family understand their wealth, their money, understand how it's growing for them, how that can be helped, how it can grow either more effectively and efficiently, and ultimately what will happen with these monies after it's been grown and I've used it. You know, how can I transfer that or transition that money over to my family? How can I do it in an easy way that I know it's going to be protected? So, in a nutshell, that's a lot of what we do there, right? We help manage a client's money, we grow it, and we help them transfer it in a very good way. We get help from other trusted advisors, CPAs, and attorneys, but we ultimately quarterback the situation for them and make sure that they have one point of contact that can really understand how all this is going to be happening. And that, in a nutshell, is what a true wealth advisor should be doing constantly with a client.
So let me ask you, Carlos. So let's say someone has decided that they want to go through you to grow their money, and then as they see changes in their life because things happen, and let's say they've invested money with you. Let's assume they have 300,000. Could that individual use that 300,000 as collateral if they decided they wanted to, open an account? Maybe some of our viewers would know that, or could they withdraw without a penalty?
It's a great question. So all the accounts that we open up for clients, depending on the client need and the type of money's invested, a lot of it is very nimble, very flexible to be used. But one of the great ways and tools that we'd like clients to use it is as collateral if needed, because investing is best done long term. The longer money's invested, the longer it has the opportunity to compound. And guess what? That is now an asset that can be used as collateral for a line of credit or another credit package that will then allow them to use and take advantage of opportunities. But guess what? Without having a taxable event and without depleting their hard-earned monies. So now you have access to a strategy that really the wealthy have been using for generations. But now we want clients to understand that this is a way to empower themselves, keep their assets working, but then also be very smart about leveraging well, having some tax savings, but then also having cash at the ready for opportunities. In a lot of ways, being ready for those opportunities are some of the most impactful ways to be really successful long term, right? Having capital there ready to deploy. And that's what we want clients to understand, that with a lot of our clients, we use these strategies to make sure that when things occur, we're going to be able to help them, right? Not only on the investment piece, but on the lending piece, on the banking piece. This all comes together as part of a holistic plan that will allow them to really and truly be successful.
Yeah, that's real helpful. I think lots of times they don't know that they have access to cash, or they can borrow against it. And you're right, people have been doing that forever. I mean, but those are people that have been in the system or have come from parents. Obviously my parents would have never known that wealth advisors even existed, right? So it wasn't until I got into this line of work that I actually realized that. But I appreciate the fact that you're visiting with people that are graduating from college. You're encouraging them to step over. I know it must be challenging because a lot of them just want to spend their money, right? But I appreciate it. So before we close, is there anything you'd like to share with our viewers that I may have not covered?
Well, we covered a lot there, but and ultimately, I want everybody to know that here at Lone Star National Bank, within our wealth management and trust area, we're really here to help guide you. We understand how life can throw so many different things at you, and there can be a lot of uncertainty. But our role is to really give you the peace of mind to know that you can focus on what matters most: your career, your family, and then let the financial aspect of life really be taken care of by somebody who's ultimately going to be doing best by you, can be giving you good, sound advice that's understandable, that's easy to comprehend, and ultimately be able to grow with you and your family. So we want everybody to know that we're here. We have a lot of different solutions for them, and we're here to be able to guide them and their family and really customize something for them. That really is something that nowadays can't be overstated. Every person, every family is unique. We want to make sure to create something just as unique for them to be able to accomplish those goals.
Now, I know that our marketing team will probably put your name at the bottom of today's discussion and probably your information, but would you like to go ahead and share your phone number or your contact information in case they weren't able to see it?
Of course,
And
of
they
course.
just heard it?
Carlos Hilario, Wealth Management. You can get with us at wealthmanagement@lsmb.com. That's going to be the easiest path. Somebody from our team will be able to get with you immediately and really understand what we're trying to accomplish. Really put you in with a professional that can help guide you.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed. I shouldn't say another, but this segment of Real Talk with Carlos Eladio, who's our wealth management now director. We appreciate everything you've done, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit with us today and share this important information with our audience. So, Carlos, thank you.
Thank you so much, Julian. Pleasure.
We'll see you again.